organizations. Very often when we think of DEI as a modern buzzword, we think of it only in the context of corporate organizations, whereas DEI is something that should be a part of every organization and every kind of community. So this particular category recognizes the initiatives, the trailblazing initiatives that are being taken by public service organizations of all kinds. And I would like to invite DG, Rotarian V. Srinivas Murthy, our First Lady, Mrs. Vijaya Srinivas, our Chief Guest, Mr. Nagesh Baswanahalli, and of course Rotarian Abha Saxena on the stage to please hand out the awards. We would also like to take this opportunity to felicitate the jury members who helped in arriving at the winners of these awards. We had a jury which went through an intensive process to arrive at these winners, to sift through all of our entries, and we would like them to be recognized at this stage. And I would request our First Lady, Mrs. Vijaya Srinivas, to kindly hand out a small gesture of our thanks to our jury members. Okay. I would request Mr. Ashok Pammidi to please join us on stage. First award of the night. The first award of the night is Pioneering Initiative as a winner category of Pioneering Initiative, all inclusive congregation. I would like the members of all inclusive congregation to join us on stage.
one of the charter with why don't we promoting and enabling participation. Please go ahead. But leading for our not more, thank you. Our next category is DEI gap. DEI gap. We would like to invite everybody to rise to the organization. The Rotary joined one of the representatives is calling for free. Hey, thank you so much.
Hi everyone. Before we go to our next session, I would like to invite and welcome DGE Mahadev Prasad. Thank you so much for coming here. Our next session is a panel discussion. The topic is the why and how of inclusion of women and people with disabilities. The moderator is an individual who is an alumnus of International Ford Foundation Fellowship and holds PhD in English, Literature, and Masters in Disability and Human Development from University of Illinois, Chicago. She is VP of Global Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity. She is a winner of prestigious awards like President's National Award, NCP-EDP Shell Kellen Eller Award, and she is Dr. Meenu Bambani, our moderator for this panel discussion. I would like to invite Dr. Meenu here, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rotary, for inviting me here to moderate this session on the why and how of including people with disabilities and women. And I am delighted to invite two of my co-panelists here. First, Savita Malappa. And Hatim Dawasaz. Let me briefly tell you about these two dignitaries with whom I'm sharing the stage today. Savita is an IT entrepreneur and professional with a diverse experience of more than 25 years across the industry. She graduated with her master's in engineering from University of Texas. Post this, she worked in engineering and management roles at various companies, including Hughes Network, Philips, Texas Instruments in Bangalore, and played a key role in leadership positions. Her passion to become an entrepreneur led her to set up Our Process, a Mysore-based ITES center. So it's a pleasure to have somebody from Mysore and somebody who set up something in ITES in Mysore. So the key motivation in founding Our Process was to enable jobs in smaller towns, going beyond the Indian metros with an inclusive and diverse workforce. She's also a Paul Harris Fellow of Rotary International and is committed to several social causes. And she's also the chairperson of the HRIR CSR panel at CII Mysuru chapter. She has been recognized with Mysuru Mahila Ratna Award, Economic Times MSME Women Entrepreneur Award, and recognition from Karnataka Digital Economy Mission for her remarkable work in creating employment beyond Bangalore. Please give a big round of applause to Savita for joining us today. And we have Hatim Dawasaz. I hope I'm pronouncing it correct. Okay. He's a networking engineer and operations head at India, and also the leader of Connected Disability Action Network, APJC, co-lead at Cisco Systems India Private Limited. He's also founder and trustee and settler Rise Against Hunger India. He holds a bachelor's degree in electronics engineering and is the network engineering, which I've already mentioned. In addition to that, it's an international organization that he has founded with a vision of a world without hunger, a mission to nourish lives, empower communities, respond to emergencies, and build a strong movement towards ending hunger. He's very passionate about giving back through activities and events, including mobilizing and leading an active citizen support group in the Neighborhood Apartment Association. His expertise and focus lies in advocacy for inclusion, community service and philanthropy, local community engagement. And I really love your personal quote, "No defeat is final until you stop trying." So let me start by asking a question. Any one of you can start. The topic of our panel discussion is the why and how of including women and people with disabilities. Why is it important? Do we still need to ask the question why? Any one of you can start.
So, first of all, I wanted to congratulate Rotary for this focus, and Rotary being a global organization, international organization, this focus actually really brings in a lot of importance on some of these topics which we all know are not discussed very openly outside these forums. The testimony that, or the very existence of these kind of forums in international organizations like Rotary, and we also talk about having employee resource organizations in different corporates, right? Where we say that, yeah, we have focus on gender diversity. We have focus on disability matters. We have focus on back to business, women empowerment. Why are these small organizations or employee resource organizations required? Because there is not much awareness, right? And that's one of the reasons why these small employee resource organizations, these focus groups are required, because I think we are still not matured enough. And that is where we have a big opportunity. And that is one of the reasons why we continue to see a lot of focus on this, even after decades of we talking about this topic. I know there have been a lot that has been done in this sector. And as I said, I'm really happy to see Rotary talking about this. Being an international organization, I think it'll help a lot to bring in right level of policies and procedures in this space.
Completely agree with you, Hatim. I think the why is extremely important because there's pockets of discussion in corporates where some attention is given. We have all the non-profits, so many institutions we just saw getting awarded just now who are doing their work. And then there are pockets again of people discussing it, but there's not enough. There's really not enough. And the why it's just so important because I think we're just making a small dent. And if you look at the statistics, the millions of people, whether it's disabled or the number of women, which is more than sometimes 50% of the population, right? But who are in the workforce, it's dismal to see the numbers. So statistically, the impact that we are creating, whether it's with disabled or with women, it's just not enough. And again, like Hatim said, I think Rotary is doing a fantastic job of bringing all the people together in such a forum and going beyond just pockets of discussion. So the why is we need to keep creating more impact. It's just not enough. The how is a little more complex question, I think, Veenu. And I think how we do it is for each of us to contribute and bring awareness and bring attention to these topics.
Savita, you have pioneered something in a tier 2 city like Mysore, where I'm sure there are a lot of people who come from rural areas, both women as well as people with disabilities. Do you see any difference in their aspirations, their challenges, or any gaps? What is the difference you see between a tier 2 city or the rural areas and the urban areas when it comes to inclusion of people with disabilities and women in the workforce?
Large question, I'll try to answer that. Having worked in a largely urban landscape, I have seen what it is in the corporate world in Bangalore and in the US. But if you go to tier 2, and actually our process as a company is not just in tier 2, we're actually in tier 3, tier 4. I don't know how many people know Chamarajanagar. Chamarajanagar, anybody? Right? Most backward district in Karnataka. We're in a small town called Sante Maralli in Chamarajanagar. We have 200 people there, right? 70% women in that office in Sante Maralli, right? So just to talk about what makes it happen, right? The advantages of going rural is the more rural you go, more accessible you become to these women, right? The biggest challenge for rural women is leaving the home, the traditional home. The woman typically leaves the home only when she gets married. And so it's not that you just pick up your bags and say, I've got a job in Bangalore, I'm going now. So it's if you make the job accessible, you're providing them workspace. From a disability standpoint, again, access is one thing. The rural landscape for disabled people, I think, is very challenging. The things, in fact, when we spoke, Hatim was talking more about how they'll understand guidelines, how to fit into a workplace. Whereas in the rural landscape, it's just simple things like how do I get to work, right? We also find there's a dearth of institutions enabling, employment there. So I know I have my HR head here, and last time we hired, we said, why why isn't there a percentage of disabled people in this bout of hiring? She said, we just don't have anybody. There's not enough people who are training and enabling them. So, there's a pipeline dearth. Even if you want to hire, there's nobody who's bridging the gap there. So I think the rural landscape poses different challenges, both for women and for disabled people. What I think helps is just being there, closer to them and enabling, and giving an opportunity to express their skills.
I think you have, like in one way, you have actually told us why it is still important to continue this discourse. There isn't enough, there aren't enough resources in terms of enabling environment, enabling organizations, lack of training. And I mean, we have been talking about these issues for last so many years, and they continue to remain. So that means we have only scratched the surface and really not gone deep. So that is why I think it is still important to continue to have this conversation and nudge organizations to take action. Hatim,
If I may add to what Savita mentioned, one of the experiences there, what we did through my organization Rise Against Hunger, is while we actually focus on a lot of tribal areas here in India, up north in 6 different states, one of the states that we went to, we saw and we noticed that smaller villages, urban villages, as you mentioned, because there's not much for them to do, because these are tribal villages, they're not into farming. But then, so what happens is, because they're not getting more focus, the men and the boys, they move or try to move to urban areas, right? And this is where they are leaving, or rather losing, the charm and leaving the villages. One of the things that we noticed was, what is it that will help preserve their legacy? Is we said, okay, this particular village or cluster of villages, goat farming. So what we did was, we tried a pilot where we actually took some of the women to Lucknow. We had a tie-up with Lucknow Goat Farming, Goat Trust. And we said, okay, you are Pashu Sakhis now. We'll get you trained so that you can do goat farming, and that will help bring back your men and boys. So not to get them to urban areas, but then help them. And this is how we can empower women, right, in their own rural areas, and then preserve our heritage. Just an example.
Yeah, I mean, and Savita also said that it's about making jobs accessible to women, because they can't leave their homes. So how do we create an ecosystem that takes jobs closer to them, rather than them shifting their roots, moving their roots? And Hatim, I would love to know more about Cisco's CDAN network and your work with that.
So my primary role is not into, being part of ERO. I'm an IT professional, but over and above that, around 10 years ago, I was asked to, and we have some inspirational people. I see Akshay there somewhere, who actually invited me, saying that, why don't you join us? We have Akshay there. Thank you, Akshay. And I said, okay, what is it? And he said, it's Connected Disability Action Network, focusing on disability matters. And we used to say, okay, we focus a lot on accessible facility. Why accessible facility? Because any person with disability, when the moment they enter any facility has to be accessible. Then we said, what next? The moment we employ them, okay, and we're talking about IT companies, we're talking about corporates, the first thing that they have an interface with is computers, laptops, IT phones, video conference units. Are these accessible? Yes or no? And then this is where we said, how do we focus on assistive technologies? Again, I'm talking something which is very common to every corporate, I would say, right? And then we said, do we have the right level of policies in place? This is where reasonable accommodation comes in picture. How do we focus on that? Again, I'm talking about very basic stuff, which every organization talks about, but then how do we bring in and not just run these as individual projects and say, okay, we ran this project, we claim the victory, done. How do we embed them in our system? By embedding it in our system, and then by creating policies, we say it's part and parcel of the corporate, rather than running special programs. And then we said, how do we make this as a market proposition for sales? Sales talks about money, numbers, right? Then we say our product owners, Cisco being a technology leader, are our products accessible? Are our products and solutions accessible to create an inclusive environment inside and outside our organization? The answer was, to some extent, yes. How do we ensure that each and every product that we build is accessible, right? And this is where we said, okay, our focus revolves around all these things. So every year we bring in different focus areas. This year's focus area is neurodiversity for Cisco, and that's a global thing.
That's a lot of work. I have been given a heads up that we have last 5 minutes left. So one question to both of you. What barriers exist to include women and people with disabilities? What are the resources needed? Who all need to play a role? Anyone can start.
Sure. I think we talked a little bit about women and being closer to their homes and taking jobs closer to people rather than bringing all the people to Bangalore and, getting saturated here. So that's one possible barrier that exists, and we continue to focus on that. Of course, for women, there's a whole range of issues, right from a monthly leave that you may need, a resting room that you may need, which we've tried to enable so that you don't have to take time off every month, right from childbirth, coming back to work. So many people want to come back to work after the formative years of their children. So all of these, the whole gamut needs to be addressed, and I think a lot of corporates are doing. Again, it's in pockets, and we need to strengthen by opening up these topics, talking about it, and making a conscious effort to enable women to perform. The rural aspect, again, whether it's rural or urban, maybe it's common, is a lot of people coming back to work after maternity is a huge jump. And then now after COVID, this whole hybrid thing that's come in is really enabled or empowered them to balance this in a better way. Maybe that can be incorporated into a lot more workplaces. Of course, all of us are talking about IT. And in IT, all of this is very easy. But if you go to manufacturing or you go to some other industry, all of these challenges are completely different. So there's a lot more barriers. And I've been invited, like I was saying, on Women's Day to many companies. I went to BEML last year, and the percentage of women in BEML was 5%. I said, why am I even there to celebrate Women's Day? 5% was the women population. And in IT, it's always 60, 70, easily, right? So I think it has to be addressed in different types of industries, and that's the challenge for including women. For disabilities, there's a whole range, and I think the stuff that Cisco and CDAN is doing with the neurodiversity, I can't even imagine, because we've struggled with that. Even with the blind, there are very different challenges with keyboard, and we do a lot of visual work. So we hire predominantly hearing and speech disabled, but it's easy to hire them. And okay, they know sign language, you train them, you use, we have great institutes like Enable India who help us bridge the gap. They're working, but is that enough? Because they've come, they've got their computer, maybe they've got a few friends who are also signing with them. Then we realize that's not enough, that as management and leadership, we are not communicating with them, right? So all of us need to sign at least little bit, at least how are you, or thank you, or something. You have to have internet, right? Half the time internet is down in our office. They don't know how to say it, they can't keep writing it every time. So it's important that the whole organization is sensitized. And these are the kind of barriers that exist even after employment, and it continues. So you enable them, help them grow, not just you come in as an agent, but are you able to grow, take a leadership position? And we're proud to say we have handicapped people even as a team lead. So we continuously try, and I don't think the story ends. There continues to be more barriers, and these are only some of the top ones that I have listed.
I think she pretty much covered everything. If I were to just talk about two things, one is if we can have inclusion framework certification. Just an idea, okay? What that means is, if we are talking about big corporates having their own focus, right? And then saying that smaller employee resource organizations having small focus, right? Running projects and all that. How can we convert those into policies? But again, the moment we talk about every organization converting that into policy, that will be focused to only that organization. If organizations, and you did mention about a couple of organizations, and if obviously we can have Rotary also focus and say we can have an inclusion framework which applies to every organization or different sectors, right? And these are the different certification. Just a thought, right? How can we have that done? Because then we can say that every organization is creating an inclusion framework, marching towards it, right? And in respect of time, the second one, very tiny weeny idea is, and thought is, we need awareness. You mentioned about sensitization, right? You always talk about calling different corporates and spreading awareness. Do we engage our kids? Right? In schools and even at home, even in our societies, do we engage our kids and tell them that your involvement is important? That is the right age where I think sensitization needs to be built, and they would become our change agents. I'll stop here. Savita, go ahead.
Just one last point on that note when you talked about kids and families. And I'd really like to thank Rotary here. I'm not a Rotarian, but I'm married to one. And my sensitization and awareness of service beyond self, and the kids being exposed to service, to disabilities, Rotary has opened its doors and taught us all how to do it. So thank you, Rotary. Yeah?
Wonderful, wonderful. So I think with this we come to the end of this panel discussion in the interest of time, and I would like to sum up in 2 sentences and also give one case study which I recently read in the Mint, that who all need to play a role. It's family, it's government, it's society, it's industry, it's everyone plays a role in making sure that this journey of inclusion continues. Recently, there was this article in about Krishnagiri district, where women workforce has outnumbered men. So the government is giving incentives to the families to send girls to colleges to complete their education. Vocational training centers have tied up with industry which is present in those cities. In Krishnagiri, for example, TVS, Tata Motors, and they have designed programs and curriculum which is training women, and that's how everybody is seeing that there is a benefit in seeing our girls work, be on their own, be financially independent and empowered, and contribute to family as well. Everybody is happy, and I think that is what inclusion does. So there is a role for everyone to play. And I think I really like your idea of inclusion framework certification. I think that doesn't exist. And all of us, for each organization, it becomes a journey where they start from scratch and they do not know where to go and they struggle. So I hope somebody takes it up. Thank you, Rotary. Thank you, Abha. And thank you, my panelists, for such a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Such a wonderful message. While we are getting the stage ready, I think the message was very clear. When the flower doesn't bloom, you do not fix the flower, you fix the environment. I think that was the message here. Very well taken. Thank you so much. 1 second, please. We would like to give small mementos to all the 3 of you. Just a minute. DG, can I request DG to come on stage, please? And DG? So nice. Thank you, IP. Please.
We'd like to present the first memento to our moderator, Ms. Meenu Bambani. Thank you so much for holding forth through the panel discussion. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. We'd like our First Lady, Mrs. Vijaya Srinivas, to hand out the next memento to Mr. Hatim Davasas. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. And last but not least, to Ms. Savita Malappa. Thank you for joining us as well.
The next category is business awards. Businesses across the world are realizing that DEI is not just a woke buzzword, but an essential component of business strategy that increases the creativity, innovation, and brand reputation of the organization. But changing the deep-rooted biases and mindsets is not an easy task. This category recognizes some of the DEI champions who are taking these changes head on. So let's have this business award category right now. To introduce that, I would like to call my partner in crime, Lakshana. Thank you.
Once again, I would like to invite on stage our district governor.
Before we get to the DEI awards, which may take a couple of seconds, I would want to know if anyone knows which year did Rotary admit women as members for the first time? Anyone? No? Absolutely correct, 1989. Till 1989, Rotary did not have women. So I guess we did have some diversity coming in, but a little late in the line. That's okay. And now let's see. Who said Rotary is the powerhouse of service, leadership, and friendship? Let's make it a powerhouse of inclusiveness and equity and diversity. Let's see who said that. No? Our First Lady sitting here. We need to be more vigilant, guys. We need to read our newsletters. So the next question I would like to ask someone is, Who said no culture can live if it attempts to be exclusive? It's not a Rotarian, I promise you that much. It's a famous person. Some more clues? He's not there anymore. Again, no culture can live if it attempts to be exclusive. Awesome. There you go. I think we need to note these. Ma'am, do we have any prizes for them? I think we should get those prizes for them because they've been answering a couple of them here. One is for here. Yeah. I think Mahatma Gandhi there. Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Can I get your name, please?
Yeah, I'm Rotarian Jankira, President of Rotary Bangalore North. We are one of the lead clubs for this program. Pleasure to be here.
I have some terms which every CEO should know. Can someone name, there are 14 words which I have, whoever names the maximum gets another award. Let's see who can name the maximum number of awards a CEO should know to include DEI. Give it a try, guys. Words. For example, diversity, equity, inclusion, right there, it's there. Other than these three, tell me more. Let's try. Someone who names maximum number of words.
LGBTQ, inclusion of LGBTQ, enabling women participation. Words. Women participation. Okay, you want the buzzwords? Okay, inclusion, diversity, DEI, exclusion DEI, sustainability.
Sustainability is in general, yes.
Yeah, apart from DEI, right? Okay. Yeah, because reaching out to the people. Okay, let me not get into that.
Okay.
Accessibility.
Accessibility, yes.
Differently abled, physical disability, empowerment, women empowerment or general empowerment, sustainability, and then inclusiveness, it is already there.
Who else want to try? Equal opportunity, one more. Okay? Come on.
Engage, enable, empower, empathy, acceptance.
Solid words.
Bias, ethnicity.
I was looking for bias there. I think most of us miss that word. Bias is a very, very subtle word which we generally miss. The words here are diversity, equity, inclusion. Sorry.
Accommodation.
Okay. Unconscious bias, along with bias, and then colorblind, which means you treat everyone the same color, same this one. Generalize everyone. Gender pronouns, which they already mentioned. Privilege, when someone is privileged and others are not, and you treat them that way. Systemic racism. Discrimination, where they both are different. And then all the isms, any ism should be taken out in any organization. Structural inequality, again, is the same thing. Multicultural competency, I think someone mentioned there. And then allies. So all these words are buzzwords which a CEO should know and be aware of them and ensure that they take care of it. Do we have a prize for this? I don't think anyone got it. So I think we'll leave it with that. Are we ready with the next? Okay.
Great. Thank you, Rashmi. Now we move on to the next category of awards. The next category we will be going through are the business awards. Businesses across the world, I think, are quickly realizing that DEI is much more than a woke buzzword. It is something that encourages creativity, innovation, it improves brand reputation, and it allows organizations to address the varied, diverse nature of consumers today. And so this category, but it's not an easy task, right? It's changing deep-rooted biases, changing mindsets is not something you can do overnight. And it really takes a special kind of DEI champion to make these changes. And so this category of awards recognizes such DEI champions across business organizations. So once again, I would like to request our DG, Rotarian V. Srinivas Murthy, to please come on stage. Ma'am, our First Lady, please join us on stage. Our Chief Guest, please come up on stage. Thank you. We are also joined now by our DGE, Rotarian Mahadev Prasad. Great.
Yeah, PDG Aneja and his better half. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on stage.
I'm sorry, these are the members of very, very new clubs, so they still have to learn.
We are a month old, just to give you an idea of how new we are in the Rotary system. So sorry. Okay, let's get quickly started on the business organizations. The first category that we will be covering is the DEI award winner for pioneering initiatives. This award goes to the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, India. Please join us on stage. Once again, may I request some enthusiasm in recognizing our winners. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Before we continue, once again, I would like to apologize for my newness in the system. May I please invite Rotarian Ava Saxena to also join us on stage? Okay. The next award is the DEI award winner for the next award is the DEI award winner for promoting and enabling women's participation. This goes to our process. May I? Thank you so much. The Rotary's Choice winner for promoting and enabling women's participation goes to Wipro. Please join us on stage. Thank you so much. The DEI winner for promoting and enabling the participation of persons with disabilities goes to Cisco Systems India Private Limited. May I request the representatives from Cisco Systems India Private Limited to please join us on stage.
Akshay.
Cisco Systems. Pushpa.
Want you also real. Oh yes, yes. Hi, hi. With them, with them. Close.
Thank you so much. The Rotary's Choice Award for promoting and enabling the participation of persons with disabilities goes to Zomato. We would like Zomato to the representatives to please join us on stage. Thank you so much. The next award goes to a category that we have not yet given an award to, so I would like all of you to give an enthusiastic round of applause to the DEI award winner in the category Promoting and Enabling the Participation of the LGBTQIA+ community. The DEI winner in this category is Wipro Limited once again. So Wipro, please do join us on stage. Thank you so much. We also have a Rotary's Choice Award winner in this category, and the winner in this category is LTI Mindtree. May I ask the LTI Mindtree team to join us on stage? Thank you so much for joining us on stage. All right, the next category, we have the DEI Catalyst. In the Social Impact Organization category, the first award goes to Featherlight. Featherlight, can we ask the team to join us on stage, please? Featherlight Products. Thank you, sirs. We have a joint winner in this category. So the other DEI award for DEI Catalyst Social Impact goes to Trustin. May I invite the Trustin participants to please join us on stage. We also have joint winners in the Rotary's Choice category for social impact, the DEI Catalyst Award for social impact organization. I would like to invite again on stage our process. The Our Process team, please do join us on stage. Ms. Malapa. The joint winner of this category of DEI Catalyst Award for Social Impact organization goes to Elders India. Please do join us on stage, sir. I think this might be a familiar face to all of us Rotarians from District 3192. So please do enthusiastic round of applause, please. Thank you. Our next category recognizes individuals who are acting as DEI catalysts. So the DEI winner for the DEI Catalyst Social Impact individual goes to Pankajam Sridevi. May I please invite you on stage, ma'am. The Rotary's Choice for DEI Catalyst Social Impact Individual has been given to Ms. Deepa Narsimhan. May we request.